After Ducati's disappointing result at Silverstone, Fabio Quartararo's statement suggesting that Ducati was finished immediately sparked a major explosion in the paddock. The comment reportedly angered Ducati boss Gigi Dall'Igna, who saw it as an underestimation of the strength of a team that has long been one of MotoGP's dominant forces. Now, the war of words is heating up. Is Ducati really entering a period of decline, or has Quartararo made a huge mistake that could come back to haunt him at the next round? Let's discuss. Fabio Quartararo does not consider the 2026 MotoGP Championship to be an unusual one. According to the Yamaha rider, the balance of power changing from one circuit to another is perfectly normal in modern MotoGP. Some bikes simply have characteristics that suit certain tracks better than others. Quartararo pointed to Silverstone as a clear example. Ducati struggled in Britain, while Aprilia was able to dominate. Yet, just one round earlier at Sachsenring, Marquez had managed to take Ducati back to the top. For Quartararo, that difference was not a sign that Ducati had suddenly lost its ability to compete. He even pointed out that Ducati had struggled at Silverstone in the past. That is why, when asked about the possibility of Ducati bouncing back in Aragon, Quartararo made a rather bold prediction. He expected to see Ducati struggling badly in Aragon. The comment effectively became a challenge to Ducati. If the Desmosedici proves competitive again in Aragon, then all the talk about Ducati being finished will immediately be disproven. Inside the Ducati camp, Gigi Dall'Igna naturally has a different assessment. The Ducati course boss did not hide his disappointment with what happened at Silverstone. Ducati never truly found competitive pace from qualifying through the race. The problem was not limited to a single rider. Almost the entire Ducati lineup struggled. Marquez was unable to chase the leading group. Francesco Bagnaia endured a disappointing weekend and eventually crashed. Meanwhile, Marquez emerged as one of the strongest Ducati riders. Dall'Igna acknowledged that Ducati was never truly in contention at Silverstone. However, he refused to use a single race as a reflection of the entire season. For Dall'Igna, Silverstone was simply a reminder of just how competitive MotoGP has become in 2026. Aprilia showed that it had a very strong package for the characteristics of the British circuit. But that does not mean it will automatically dominate Aragon. Silverstone became one of the most surprising weekends of the 2026 season. Aprilia took over the entire stage, while Ducati had to accept the reality that it had no answer for its rival's pace. Raul Fernandez even became the 12th different race winner in the same stretch of races, highlighting just how fiercely competitive this season has become. Aprilia also demonstrated that its bike's characteristics are extremely well suited to Silverstone's fast corners. Quartararo believes the Aprilia has excellent capabilities when it comes to high-speed turns. That is why he does not consider Aprilia's dominance to be particularly surprising. But Ducati has a chance to respond, and that opportunity is called Aragon. One of Ducati's biggest problems at Silverstone was Marquez. After his outstanding performance at Sachsenring, expectations for Marquez were extremely high. However, Silverstone turned into one of his toughest weekends. Marquez could only finish 7th and was the third best Ducati rider behind Marquez and Fabio Di Giannantonio. Even more concerning was his physical condition. After the race, Marquez revealed that he was not in his best physical condition. He even said he was struggling to control his right arm and felt that the risk of crashing was becoming greater. That issue is particularly important because Marquez is still recovering after undergoing surgery. After the disappointing result at Silverstone, the impact on the World Championship battle has been significant. Marquez's gap to Jorge Martin has grown to 40 points. This is clearly not an ideal situation for Ducati. Marc had previously built strong momentum, but one difficult weekend has changed the championship fight once again. Now, Aragon has become far more important. Marquez needs to respond immediately if he does not want Martin to pull even farther ahead. Ducati must also prove that its poor performance at Silverstone was not a sign that its strength is fading. And that pressure makes Quartararo's prediction even more intriguing. This is where Quartararo's comments could become a potential threat to Ducati. Quartararo said that Ducati is finished, and he even predicted that the disastrous would struggle in Aragon. If Ducati returns to its competitive form, Gigi Dall'Igna will have the perfect answer to all the doubts that emerged after Silverstone, not through words, but through lap times and race results. Fabio Quartararo's comments about Ducati's struggles at Silverstone reportedly irritated Gigi Dall'Igna. The Ducati course boss made it clear that one bad race cannot be used as proof that Ducati has lost its strength. If anyone thinks Ducati is finished simply because we struggled at Silverstone, just wait until Aragon. We do not need to respond with words. We will answer on the track. That is the firm attitude attributed to Dall'Igna. For him, MotoGP is a championship heavily influenced by the characteristics of each circuit, and Ducati still has the ability to return to the front. Dall'Igna also seemed to send Quartararo a warning that the real proof would come in Aragon. Interestingly, Quartararo himself predicted that Ducati would fall apart there. Now Ducati has the opportunity to answer all the doubts directly through the performance of the disastrous. If Marquez and the other Ducati riders return to the front of the field, Silverstone will prove to have been nothing more than one bad weekend, not a sign that Ducati's dominance is coming to an end. After that, attention will turn to Francesco Bagnaia, who is also under pressure to bounce back in Aragon. On the other hand, Francesco Bagnaia is another problem Ducati needs to solve. Silverstone was once again a difficult weekend for the Italian rider. He failed to put up a meaningful fight and ultimately ended the race with a crash. Bagnaia's situation means Ducati cannot rely solely on Marquez. Ducati needs both factory riders capable of fighting at the front. If only Marquez returns to competitive form, while Bagnaia continues to struggle, the pressure on Ducati will remain extremely high. That is why Aragon will also be an important test for Bagnaia. Dall'Igna does not need many words. He needs an answer. Silverstone exposed Ducati's weaknesses. Aprilia proved that it can dominate. Quartararo predicted that Ducati will be fast again. Now it is up to Ducati to prove it. Dall'Igna wants his team to learn every possible lesson from Silverstone and then rediscover the determination and performance they had before. Silverstone may have reminded Ducati of the reality of an extremely competitive championship. But one bad race does not erase the full potential of a motorcycle. MotoGP 2026 is once again delivering an unpredictable situation. At Sachsenring, Ducati and Marquez were dominant. At Silverstone, Aprilia took over instead. Now, Aragon awaits. If Ducati returns to the front, Quartararo's statement will be proven wrong. If Marquez fights for the win again, the gap to Martin could begin to shrink. But if Aprilia dominates once again, the championship situation will become far more serious for Ducati. And now, all the pressure is on Gigi Dall'Igna's shoulders. Can the Ducati boss deliver a powerful response in Aragon? Will Marquez bounce back and avenge his disappointing Silverstone result? Or will Aprilia once again leave Ducati powerless? Let us know what you think in the comments below.